Welcome back to the road to 2200. Here we are with a game. My opponent is 2059. I'm 1963. We're playing the Caro-Kann. What are we going to get? Okay, we're getting the advanced variation. It's interesting. Just today, I was thinking, do I know how to play against the tall variation well enough? And I was thinking no. But thankfully, we're not getting that. So we're getting the short variation. The short variation, I just kind of do the normal thing. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's the normal thing. It's what I generally do. I'm going to go here next. The idea being then I can go here, and they can't go here to pin the knight. Okay, I don't know that I've seen that. So what's the goal here? I mean, if they're just going to go like that and the slowest thing ever, I don't think I care. Is their plan something with this to support that? They could have gone out this way. I don't know. That's a bit baffling. I'm going to move on with my life and say, I don't know what you're up to. I'm going to go here like I would normally go. Okay. Very interesting. I mean, it's really tamped down this pawn, so maybe I should have just played a5. We might look at that later and be like, wow, that was ridiculous. This is forever a backwards pawn. But they can't attack it unless they can get rid of this pawn. So, I don't know. Long term, maybe it's going to be a problem. Short term, definitely not a problem. I think normally I go like here, 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 and then I kind of try to decide where I'm going to castle. I guess this is also making it so I'm not castling long, which I think is fine. I think I'll just go here. It's a pretty normal move for me. Okay. Like, that is a lot of moves just to do that. I don't know. That looks like bananas to me. I guess what I probably don't want to do is take and then let him take here and then go here. He's hitting this. Like, that is kind of annoying. I don't see what the problem with me just pushing is, though. Like, yes, this pawn is well placed. I grant you that. But, like, that is a long time before you can be able to use that advantage. And you use so many moves. I don't know. It looks kind of crazy to me. But what do I know? The worry, of course, is if I go here and they go here. What am I doing with the bishop? If I go here, they go here. So maybe I can't yet go here. I could go here to set up castling. I think probably I want to get ready for this idea. C5. To do that, I could do it now, I suppose. Like, it's very weird. Normally this knight is here. This is just such a strange start to this game. Yeah, kind of like here, here, here. That would look pretty great. I don't think you'd be able to take. I think after here, it'd be like here. But then if I take here, I don't know. It feels like my opponent is pretty far behind on development. Normally, I'd do something like this first. Ah, which makes sense because then I would be hitting that pawn. No, I'm hitting the pawn still this way. So like here, here, no, here, here, takes. I guess then maybe I go here to hit the pawn. Or do I just kind of develop normally? I don't love developing to here anyway. So why can I usually develop to here? Why can I usually get away with that? Because there's usually, I feel like there's something I can take with this bishop normally. Because this is the move I want to make. Alright, I'm going to do this. This might be premature, but I feel like with how underdeveloped my opponent is, it should be fine. Even if it's not ideal. If my opponent comes in here, like now we're just moving another piece again. And normally I like to leave the tension here, kind of as long as possible. I'm not sure I want to do that this game. I think, though, I'd maybe go here first. And then I can read this tension, and then I'm hitting this spot. Like, and then if they go here, I think that's great for me, right? I would just take with the rook. Maybe they go here, I come back, but then this pawn is very loose. So yeah, I think I can go here, and that should be fine. I will say this, their odd maneuvering has gotten me low on time. Okay, this is what the deal was. I could have gone here with the knight now because the bishop is hitting this. But now after it takes... Okay, that's what I was wondering if they were going to do. But again, like, they're moving that piece again. Can that really be right? It feels like the answer has to be no. So I'm going to go here. Because I just think the idea of takes... And then now this knight can't go here. I don't know. It just feels pretty strong. I think now it's time to get castled with, like, thinking about here. Here? I think normally after here, the thought is coming out like that. Yeah, my knowledge of this particular opening is not quite as good as I would like it to be. I'm just trying to figure out where this bishop goes. Like, if I stick the bishop here, probably it's getting traded. I think I normally put it here, as weird as that looks. Like, it looks weird now, but if I can break down this pawn chain somehow, perhaps even with just this, then suddenly this is weak. Suddenly this bishop is very strong. So certainly this bishop looks terrible at the moment, and we can all agree, like, that is not a good looking bishop. But I think we have to assume that's short term. And I feel like this move has really hampered them quite a bit. Like, if they go here... Okay, never mind. I can't go here. But I'm gonna castle. And then we can start developing even more. Okay, what's this knight doing? I think it's a fine spot for the knight. It is blocking up this, which is good. It also means I can't take here after this knight moves. I think I just castle and maybe even go there. I'm going to castle and just say, okay. Like, I feel like I'm at a minimum fine here. Worst case scenario, and maybe this is what I do. I just go back in here. Okay, that seems very reasonable. Because I don't have my knight here. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that statement. This looks really good. It looks really very, very strong. Maybe I'm just going here. And then if here, I go here, and I'm happy with that. If here, 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 I'm not so happy with that. But now this pawn's very weak. So how would that work? Here. Oh, I guess it would make this pawn weak though, right? So like here, 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 and if here, here, here. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I guess the question is, what if they go here? And then I think I just drop back and it's fine. This feels a little premature. But I am castled. Everything seems pretty safe. I think it's fine. But it definitely, I could see this going wrong. Right? Like, I'm not confident with this move. I'm thinking that if my opponent does nothing, I may just go here, and then here, and then they're here. And then they have this pretty weak pawn. Like, if they end up with just a pawn here, I'm pretty excited about that, because my weak pawn is covered. They can't attack it. And this weak pawn, my goodness, would that be a target, right? I could just hit it with everything. And then surely that would fall. The question would be, like, would they have other counterplay that would make up for that? But surely that pawn would fall. What I don't think I can do is here first. I feel like this would be pretty good for them. Maybe not, though. With their lack of development and coordination, maybe I'd be okay. Okay, so this diagonal is here. First of all, I'm not backing it up. Second of all, they're covering it. So that is not a real threat, but it's something I'm keeping in mind. Okay, so they haven't fixed this problem of me just being able to go here, probably here, here. Maybe they go... Yeah, I don't know. Already it feels kind of troubling. What is this bishop doing? The queen. It doesn't look like it's doing much more here than it was on the other square. Like, if it still wants to come in here, that's fine. It can do that. I'm going to do this. It looks a little wild. Like, I am weakening myself a bit here. Like, if they go here, here, here... Sort of like maybe let me even take here. This diagonal is weak, right? And I could just kind of immediately hop on it. I think I would be okay. I can go like here. Then I could go here. I could protect that pawn a lot of times. I don't know. I guess maybe a good move for them is just to take here first to stop that. Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe this is the problem. That if I take here and they take here... Yeah, I guess I would take here, though. I think this is good for us. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Keep saying that. Yeah, I think that was the right idea. Because that knight was going to be a big issue. And now when they take here, it's going to take me a second to hit it. And I won't be able to hit it as many times as I would like. I think... there's a little piece of me that's looking at this, but that looks like it will not work. So we'll take the bishop and just say... At a minimum, I think we're solid. I'm a little worried about this situation. They have no bishops anymore, though. So I think it's going to be okay. Probably my next move is going to be to go here and hit this. And then, like, double the rooks maybe over here. They do seem to be working out of their lack of development by trading off all the pieces, which is probably not the best approach for me. I'm also tempted to just go here. And then... I suppose they can back up like that, which I don't want them to then get developed. So I think I'm going to go here. It'll be interesting if they take with the queen. That would be a very aggressive capture that I didn't really look all that closely at. I would be able to go here and hit them both. Queen doesn't look to have great squares, except for maybe this check. Maybe that's a reasonable idea. Although I think I would just go here and be pretty okay. Okay. So the question is, do I want to move this guy over here, kind of leaving the protection of the king, or go here? Or do something entirely different, say here. Queen right now looks to be doing very little. Like right now, their pawns are looking very messy. Mine are also looking kind of messy though, so maybe I shouldn't be touting my pawns. Okay, this I think is what I need to be thinking about. How will I then defend this pawn? I suppose I could go here, and then if here, and it should be okay. If I go here, let's see, where's the queen going? I imagine check. I go here. At least this pawn can't push now. They can come up here or here to guard this pawn. I don't think this pawn's going to fall anytime soon. So maybe I can just say that's a long-term threat. Although I do have this also, which is really going to put a lot of pressure quickly. And then this. Nope, not that. I have this. I really like this idea. Okay, I'm going to do this idea. I think what I also like about it is if check here, I can just go here if I want. And I think if the queens come off, the check threats are pretty neutralized. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get here, of course. I don't quite know what's in there, but this looks pretty decent, right? We're putting another piece on that. probably they're going there. I would have threats like this. Kind of would like to get into there. Now, I wish I would have thought about that before. Maybe I would have played that slightly differently. This pawn is now weak. I'm thinking maybe just doubling here is the way to go. Yeah, I think it probably is. Probably he's going here. Maybe like around here to support some attacks. I think just doubling here, putting pressure on that spot seems pretty reasonable. Perhaps it will draw away attention. I can't put my queen here now. That's kind of annoying. I don't know if I'm doubling rooks for a good reason, or if I'm just doubling rooks because I have open file-itis. So that is a legit question. Wow. Okay, that was just a terrible play. Interesting. Though, while it looks terrible, I do have just 2 open files on this king. There's a chance that that's just a mistake by my opponent. In fact, I can just take this pawn. And then they can't really check that easily. I'm just going there. If I take here and they go here, threatening my piece, and then threatening to, okay, they can't go there. Threatening to go here, but I can go here to defend it. So I think we're okay just taking here and not quite threatening that. Okay, so that's the one question. The other question is, do I just go here? Assume maybe the queen goes here. I come back to here. We're on that. Then we can go here. We got this. Okay, let's say I go here and the queen just goes back and guards this. Then what? Then I go here, hitting this. If they go here, that looks very weakening. It looks like I can go like this and this. I think I'm going to go this route. I think I'm going to say that is a pawn sack. That's not a mistake. That is a pawn sack, allowing me to just have an unfettered access to their king. And in fact, this may be one of those cool games where we just see like a king walk, where the king's just like, bloop, and then just go get him. I don't know if we have that kind of time. It'd be fun to do a game like that. I haven't gotten to do a long king walk in my time as a chess player. I won't be at all surprised. Okay, so they go there. I think I just go here. Let's look. I suppose they could go here, which might be annoying, threatening something like this. I could go here, attacking this a second time, putting more pressure. I could go here, breaking things up. I don't think I have enough firepower to come in here, here. I would need a knight like here or something to be able to make something like that work very well. So that's a tough question. The problem is if I go here, then I can't easily attack that a second time. And also if I go here and they go here, I don't know how much I like that. Maybe I do. Maybe I go here and here. All right, let's go here. If nothing else, it's a real threat. I suppose they could go there and block the threat. But at that point, I could just take here, and I'd be pretty happy with that. Okay, so they can go there. I don't know if that works very well. What if I go here? Ah, then they go there and plug up the problem. Interesting. Okay. So I kind of think I want to go here. And then if they go here, I think I just go here. I can't take here, here. No, but maybe I can with this guy here. We're going to do it. Here, and then if here, we've got this. Ooh, but what about after this? Then we got that. Okay, I'll be kind of shocked if I don't see this. And I don't think I'm going to take the knight. I think I will just, put the rook on g7 and say that looks pretty solid. Like, we've got an attack. I don't know if it's going to be a good enough attack. We have an attack. We also always have stuff like this attacking both of these, which I think is promising. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm going to go here. Pretty low on time. I like the idea of being able to, like, I could go here. You know, if the king goes there, I'm going there. If I go here and he goes here, that drops. So that looks very promising, actually. If they don't do something about it, I think I have this move. This looks pretty reasonable. Just trying to, like, bring the rook in. If he does that, I might just take here, here, and then... what would I do there? Maybe here is a reasonable idea with this coming. Feels like it's a little too far out of the attack. Maybe here. I don't know. It just feels pretty strong. Like, I don't know what I have exactly, but it feels strong. Like, it feels like it must be something there. I think something like takes here, here, with the idea of going there looks quite good. Then, like, all my pieces are pointed at the king. Something has to kind of pop loose there. And I have to keep in mind also, it might not be mate. It might be winning some material. It could be winning a critical pawn back. Like, this pawn eventually should fall as long as my queen stays on the board. It might be hard for the rooks to get at. Okay, so it's takes here, here. Okay, if here, 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 here. I don't love that for myself. I could go there. Okay, that seems like a bad idea. I don't know what that's doing. Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe they've got this check at the end, which could be really strong. Right after here, here, here. Then they just move the knight here. And now they've got some cool check ideas. But I don't know what else I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to take this route. Seems like the best route. This also seems kind of reasonable. Takes, takes. Wait, what? Could take that way. Somehow, that did not enter my calculation. I don't know why. Because it's a pretty good idea. Now they've got this at the end. And I don't really want that. So I might go here, followed by there. Ooh, I might go here. Then what about takes, takes, check. There. I don't think it's quite there. It's like pretty close to having something. But I think I can go here and accomplish kind of all the same goals. This looks pretty reasonable with the idea of like coming in here then. So if I go here, he goes here, I go here, he takes. I think I can just hide right there. I think that will work. And I also have then this check. There. Check. Takes. Check. Is actually going to be mate. So that's like a really distant idea. But I think I do need to track that. Right? That if my queen is here, I have this check, which I think is going to be incredibly strong and winning. They can't block this way because that would fall. Oh, wowzers. That does work, doesn't it? Okay. That might be winning, actually. That might be winning. here, here. I can't get in. If I go here, here, now this square is gone because of the knight. But maybe here, 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 here. I don't like that. That does not look like the answer. Oh, and this is... No, that doesn't work. Here, here. Oh, oh, this check also is kind of annoying, but I guess it's covered. Oh, this check now is coming. All right, we lose. It's become clear I have lost. I don't quite know where it got away from me. I'm looking forward to taking a look. It felt like I was doing very well, and I don't think even losing the pawn was the reason I lost. I think I had real play there. I think I have messed up since then. And maybe even taking here was right. Take. I mean, I could have taken this way, right? Actually, wouldn't that have been great? Takes. Rook there. I guess I'm just down a pawn at that point. Maybe 2 pawns, actually. If here, 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 takes... Yeah, I guess I would have just been down 2 pawns. Okay, so this way I feel like it gives me life. Ow, shoot. But, you know, I think just rook c8 probably wins. Interesting. I don't know. There's actually some interesting stuff. No. Because rook c8 here, rook here, and now I go here, and I think I just lose. So, I think I would want to go back. But, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm in big trouble. Well, I don't think I got a lot happening here. Okay. Yeah, no. Then rook here. And then I go here. And now what? All right, but I don't only have 1 move, right? We're just going to go here. Yeah, rook here, here, even just taking is kind of reasonable. Although this knight's just hanging now, right? So you need to do something recognizing your knight is hanging. Not only that, your knight is hanging and mate is hanging. So there's a lot hanging in this position. You need something great, and that seems like the move. There's only 1 move other than giving my queen away, which I'm not ready to do. This is kind of interesting. I would go here. This maybe is interesting. I go here. This looks like it probably wins, but I would go here. And then they got to move the knight, maybe here with the check. But then I'm going to go here. And now I'm threatening mate. Easy to stop. I don't know. Then maybe I have this. I'm not dead unless I'm missing a tactical shot, which I very well may be. Like, there's a lot hanging in the position. There's also interesting things like, I guess they can't. Yeah, I guess they could take here. No, because then I would take the knight. But like this suddenly could be the thing that loses. Like it got real messy here. Really, really messy. Okay, opponent taking their time. Probably smart, right? This is like a big moment. They're either gonna, like, they've got a lot hanging, but they also are putting a lot of pressure on. So why not calculate it all the way? Careful calculation seems good here. I think, though... I think rook takes g7 is pretty decisive. I take with my rook. Checks with the knight. I gotta move my king to, like, h7. And then probably g3 is fine. Yeah, I think g3 would be fine. I could go bishop h3, which we already talked about. But again, then they just move the rook, and I don't think I have that much. Interesting. Maybe I do. Maybe I then have... No. I was going to say I have this square, but the knight is covering it. Yeah. Tough stuff here. Wow, my opponent really taking their time here. I wonder if I had a rook sack at some point that I was being too cautious about. Like, here... Yeah, it just felt too premature. I don't think I had a rook sack. And then once that happened, things were kind of annoying. And the queen comes in, and then I went back, missing that idea. Yeah, so is there a way to improve from there? I think probably the answer was not taking the knight and letting the queen in. I didn't really think the queen would take. Yeah, I still had this idea. No, I don't have that idea because that would fall. What about takes? No, I don't think there's anything there. This bishop looks so reasonable and is doing so little. Alright, my opponent has moved. They've checked first. Okay, that's kind of surprising. Feels like now I can just go here, be safe. Threaten. I guess it's not threatening mate, right? Because the knight's guarding it. Okay, I don't know what else to do. I can't really dislodge the knight either. So that's kind of annoying. And now I can't sack there because the king is in the way. I would kind of love it if they went here, here. I guess that's annoying. Is that mate? No, it's not mate because I can come back with the rook. Or probably better yet with the bishop. Things are not looking good though. It's one of those games where I feel like I'm just kind of sitting here, you know, probably, to be honest, if I wasn't recording this, I might just have tabbed out and been looking at my email right now. Like, it's a bad habit, of course. You don't want to do that. It's one of the reasons why I like recording these. But it's like when I feel like I'm lost and I'm just waiting to die, it can be very hard to keep all your focus. It's one of the reasons why I like Over the Board game so much. It's like I drove there. I'm going to fight, right? Like I'm not going to just start looking at my email and check out. Okay. So we do have some choices. This is actually an interesting choice since we can't do much with this file. What if we took and then sacked here and here and here and then you just tucked back and said you have nothing? So probably that doesn't work. I think I just have to take here. And if he checks, I might just go there. Ooh. And then here. And man, he's close to being trapped. Holy cow. Does have that square. That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't have a way to steal the trap. And this knight can't go anywhere. That's mate. I just feel like this is the move we're going to see. I don't know if it's the best move. I think we're going to see that. And the question is, do I move the bishop? If I move the bishop... Yeah, maybe then... Can I end up pressuring this knight? Oh, okay. If he goes there, I would take there. Ooh, what about here? I like that a lot, actually. So if I go here and here, I take here. He goes here, 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 though. Yeah, that would be a problem if I go here. So maybe I can't do that. Maybe I can go here, threatening there. And then if he goes here, I would go there. Yeah, I don't know what else I have. That's the problem. This I'd be pretty happy with. It shuts that rook out for now. It does protect the knight, which is annoying, but one problem at a time. Okay. Again, I'm wondering if that is the end. No, because then he goes there and wins. So I just have to go here. And then if here, I think I go there. And if you want to draw, I'm thrilled with the draw. Draw would be great. Okay, so then I think I just come back to here. Ah, if I go here, he can go there. And then I think I lose. Doesn't look like I have another move, right? So it's here, here. I can't take there because of the pin. This would be mate. Yeah, I think I am mated. I have this move, but then he just takes, and shockingly, I'm mated again. Rook G3 wins is my impression of this position. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was interesting. What if I had gone here? I think the problem is then he goes here. And once again, I mated. So like everything is a mating net here. That wins. Ooh, this? Blocking it? That might be okay. Yeah, that might actually hold it together. We have no other tries, so we will do this. And then the problem is I can't do anything. I'm just kind of stuck. I think I'll go here next to break the pin. Ah, yes, that's a good idea. That is another good move. My opponent's found a lot of good moves, which is quite annoying. Yeah, so if I take that, there is mate. If I don't do anything, there is going to lead to mate. Everything leads to mate. I believe I am done. Well, I mean, it was a valiant effort, I suppose. What about here? Just giving up the exchange. But then he takes here. Yeah, no, I lose this piece. Yeah, there's nothing here. I will go here and hope my opponent doesn't see this move. I mean, there's no reason not to make them see it. Okay, and then I'll make my only move. Go here, and I'm gonna assume they're gonna go here or here and mate. What just happened? Oh, he went there and mate. Yeah, so several mate attempts, several mate tries. Let's see what happened. It's kind of a frustrating game. Okay, so this is all normal stuff. This is the short variation. This is the main line. Okay. And this is not that weird of a move. And not too surprisingly, A5 is a very good response here. This is the #1 response. Now I'm playing all the mainline stuff without trying. Okay, so this might be premature. The engine wants me to do this, or the database, and the engine says that's better too. So I went here, here, and now the engine says this has gotten bad, which is kind of hard to believe, but it's gotten bad because of this. Let's say I were to takes back, and then the issue is this is coming, hitting here and hitting here, which hits here, which is currently checkmate. And I didn't really process all that. My opponent didn't either. They played here instead, which is not the best move. It kind of says I'm fine. G takes F4. So this is basically even, according to the engine. Which, I don't know. It seems fine. It looks a little weird. I thought my idea was better. And if they go there, it is. If they go there, it's dead even now. And in fact, I've played very well and solved my problems, and it's basically an even game. Okay, so where do I mess up? There, right? Giving up the pawn. So there's no reason. In fact, maybe not. The engine says no, you don't take the pawn here. The engine's telling me like knight e2, knight f3, develop pieces. Because this is just trading a pawn. I saw that I could take that pawn, but I don't know. This looked promising. The engine's like, no, man. No, this is not a good attack. Now it's +2 for white, because like we're going to see, he's going to plug the hole. And in fact, he has a better move. He can go here and just fork my pieces. I missed that somehow. My opponent missed that somehow. That's kind of ridiculous. But he goes in here and it's still very strong. And this is just... The engine is just basically like, you don't have an attack, buddy. I'm sorry, you just don't. And now your opponent really does, and now you're dead. Okay. So going back... Here is interesting that we are even. And that probably the best idea is just this idea. Which seems very good to me, that was my plan, eventually win this attacked. Somehow I missed that it was attacking, which is ludicrous. But then after here, I was thinking, like, I could start with here. I'm hitting this twice. They have to find a way to solve that, so maybe they go there. And then maybe I can go here and start doubling up on this. And I don't know. This looks pretty reasonable to me. The engine says it is. It's not like a glorious attack, but, it's fine. Everything is solid, and it's basically an even game. Okay, so I got ahead of myself. Thought I had an amazing attack. I did not have an amazing tech. We saw it didn't work out. I think we should look at that one more time just to see like why didn't it work, right? And I think the problem is like if I could have sacked a piece here and this worked, then we have an attack, right? But the engine says that is ridiculous and you've lost. But because while we're trying to build our attack, they can just plug the main line. Now it's like we don't have anything. Yes, we have these two pieces, which look great. And this bishop is in the vicinity, but it was never able to do anything, right? Like it couldn't go here. I couldn't go here. Actually, I guess it could have gone here. Maybe that was the error. Maybe I should have... Well, not the error. I'm losing right now. Like what would have happened if we would have gone there? So my opponent went here, and let's say I go here. You can go here, here. Oh no, we have nothing. So the point I think is that I looked at this, and just said that looks pretty strong, without really taking seriously that in 2 moves they will be able to plug up everything. And that this queen is worthless here. It will take several moves to get home. Because I opened the C file, they can counterattack on it, and I kind of missed all that. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of where sort of the opening went awry also. So, this is all fine. And even this is fine. The engine says, or in the openings book says, it's okay to let them play A5. Though it doesn't go that great. I think I probably want to play A5 in the future. Okay, but it's not the end of the world. So where does it all... Interestingly, the engine kind of like C5 here. Like, it's just... That felt so early. Oh, okay. Also, B5 is an option that I did not consider. Kind of cutting off this bishop from the defense of this. Now that maybe this pawn's going to be much easier to snap up. I mean, in fact, it could go like this, and we're suddenly on it twice, and it looks kind of like a liability. So it's interesting that I did that. And then this was too early, right? I had a lot of moves I could do to set up. I could have gone here, and then let's say they went here and developed. Then if I really wanted to, I could go here, and they couldn't play there. But I could castle long here, which is what the engine is suggesting. If I wasn't going to castle long, I could just go here. They could do this, which they were eventually going to do. And basically, I think the engine does not want me to castle here. A lot of these lines are castle long, not castle short. And so I think by castling short in this particular opening, I kind of castled into what my opponent wanted to do. And by going here, the engine really hates this move. And I think it's because it takes all the mystery out of it, right? Like, I could have just gone here and then done something else, like here, to at least say, like, hey, I could be castling on either side. And then, like, once this happens, then maybe I say, okay, I need to castle along. Interestingly, the engine's like, no, you castle short here. I don't know. So, I think the bottom line for me is I still do not have a deep enough understanding of the short variation of the Caro-Kann. And I studied it a lot of times. I probably studied like 20 different times, and each time I gained more understanding. It's a very nuanced opening that I don't have a firm handle on. And then the other big takeaway is thinking that I had an attack when I just didn't. I just didn't. It looked really good. Having rooks here, just blasting down the king. How could that go wrong? But instead of like really thinking about how I'm going to bring all the pieces in, I just thought queen here would be good enough. Not at all thinking of the knight plugging the holes. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Road to 2200. It was an interesting game. We lost. It happens sometimes. I'll see you next time, everybody.